Hello.
Good
Hello,
evening.
Good evening,
everybody.
everyone.
Howdy.
Still sharing this out.
You've been hanging out with me too long. What'd you just say?
What? Howdy.
Yeah. I thought that come out of Jeremy's mouth. I'm like, oh, hell.
I'm usually the one that says howdy.
Oh, man.
Howdy, guys. How y'all
Hey, Jen,
doing
hey,
over
Rich.
there?
Well, come on, it ain't that bad.
What's up? Hey, Jen, and just a reminder, we had a great time going through Nebraska, right, Jeremy?
No comment. No comment.
How's everyone doing over there?
Hello, Irene.
Saw you stop at some interesting gas stations.
Oh, my God. I can't even. No comment on
Oh,
that.
yes, we
That
did,
case. Irene, there was plenty of corn that we came across. Have you seen those pictures yet? And yes, I love Jed's comment.
He mispronounced too many. He mispronounced too many. That's what too much.
Too many what? Corn?
Too much corn. Way too much.
You guys enjoy it though, regardless. You had to embrace it in some way, shape, or form.
As long as you're not using it as toilet paper, we're good.
Wasn't thinking that way, but okay.
I know that when we stopped at that one rest area, and Nick and Scott literally had to drag me out to the cornfield to take pictures. No, you guys wanted to go in, but there was a fence there, and I was going to jump over it. I'm pretty sure I heard something rustling in that cornfield, like maybe Isaac was going to come out or Malachi was going to something come out.
Did you see any children at play signs while you were near it?
No, we didn't. At least I didn't see any.
We may have in Kansas because we were on the back roads in Kansas.
Yeah, you gotta have.
Yeah, we did.
If you have a cornfield, someone's got to put caution children at play signs.
Wow,
yeah.
y'all.
I think like two. We were like in the middle of nowhere there for the most. Didn't we pass like just two towns in Kansas, Jeremy? At least.
We weren't in Kansas very long.
No,
We
you
went
hit
through
the tip of
Colby.
Kansas.
I don't know what the other town
The
was.
thing about Nebraska and Kansas, you could take any dirt road, and within a mile off the dirt road, you'll find an abandoned something.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to stay in those states. They're gone.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't believe you didn't figure out how to go see my girl while y'all were driving through and figure out how to tell her to go to from Utah to
No romping in
there.
the court.
Jen, weird hotel. Isn't that what we do? I mean,
what weird hotel is that, Jen, if I may ask?
the only place
You
to
say
go
that like it's
see,
a bad thing.
yeah, the only place to go see in Kansas is if anybody's old enough. Eileen, I know you know this.
I'm only 24.
And times two. But it was a show. It was a book, and then it was a show, In Cold Blood. Nick, you might know this book, In Cold Blood.
Does sound familiar. I think I might have heard of it.
Okay, yeah. Look it up. It's in Holcomb, Kansas, and it was a family that was murdered. I lived the next town over, and when I was in school, it was a big thing to go in there because it was abandoned a lot of times, but it would just change, owners because people would commit suicide or whatever the case might be. It is finally somebody got smart and said, you know what? I'm going to buy this, make it a museum, and charge people to come in. And that's what they did. But when we were there, you know how blood has oil And if you paint over it, it comes through the paint. If you don't put like, gills or something on it. Well, that's what we saw. It was like you could see the paints, the blood splatters, and it was. We got the raw version.
I could see that. I found it. It's on Wikipedia. Details 1959 murders of 4 members of the Clutter family. Yeah, Holcomb, Kansas. Yeah. That's more southwestern Kansas, though.
My grandmother sold them the rope and the tape that they killed him with.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was, I never bragged about that ever when I was living there, ever. Neither did she.
Ever.
What's up, Carl?
Carl.
So really quick before we get going.
Oh, no, before we get going, hold on. Brad.
Yeah, I thought you may want to know about that one.
Now we can move on.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So really quick, exciting announcement we made yesterday. We got 2 new chapters of things, and both of them are international.
Yes.
Long time coming for this one.
It is. It's amazing.
First one, we have Things of the Netherlands. Mary Williamson has been with us for almost 4 years now, and she is finally getting her own chapter of things. And then also we have a UK chapter of things that is going to be headed up by Vivian Powell, who is also a fellow co-host on not only this network, but she is I think the sole owner of Simply Spooky Network. Or co-owner.
I believe so, yeah.
Amazing people, both of them.
Yes. So very happy.
Oh, they're awesome.
Meanwhile,
and also
we have our own special guest tonight, who 3 of us got to hassle for a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago.
And we have Mimi
who scared the hell out of me several
Wilson
times.
on as well.
Say hi, Dennis.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Boy, that room looks different in the daytime.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. When I was in there, all I was seeing was nothing but blue and purple all over the place.
Oh, I saw that little
Me
guy,
too.
the Grim Reaper, standing there. That's all I saw. He was coming after my ass if I fell down them stairs.
From what I heard, he was after several.
Yeah. So we have Stephanie on, and we have Mimi on as well. That were there with us.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hey, ladies, how are you?
Now.
I missed that trip.
We hated it too.
Just means you got to
Hey,
come
you
back.
Yeah.
Nick was excited I was
You should
there.
have came through. You know what you could have. You know what you should have done, Eileen? You should have kept. You should have.
That was just like you.
All right. Nick was rudely
You know what you should have done,
interrupting
Eileen,
you.
was you could have met.
Nick has
No,
a
go
timing
ahead.
issue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say,
Well, no, it's my connection here for some reason. I swear it.
let's try this.
So you guys are like this all the time, right?
It happens a lot. All is good, Eileen, because we had somebody out there that weekend that looked a lot like you.
You said that. Who was that?
Somebody that what?
Nick, I just gave you the freedom to speak.
He just muted
No,
me.
I clicked on. No, what happened was I just clicked on it, and as soon as I clicked on it, you muted me back.
Well, anyway.
So
we had somebody out there
anyways.
that
Shut up,
like
Nick.
Eileen. It's a party
Oh
tonight,
God.
folks.
This is going to be difficult tonight.
No, it won't.
How is it any different from any other show that we do, Nick?
Beats me. I don't know, honestly.
Give me the mute button and we'll fix it.
There you go.
He has the mute button.
Let's try this again, Jeremy.
He does.
Jeremy, now speak.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to have Dennis tell the short version of the history of that place and what it is.
There's a short version.
Well, kind of, yeah. Jill, hey, honey.
Jill.
All right. In 1923, there was some Benedictine monks. They lived up in Breckenridge, Colorado. They were given the task of going to find property to build a Holy Cross Abbey monastery. There was several different choices, but it came down to the property here at Canyon City. The property was originally fruit bear orchards. It consumed about 2,000 acres, and it was owned by Benjamin Franklin Rockefeller. And he met with Father Cyprius A. Bradley. They struck up a deal, and Rockefeller had agreed. I didn't do it. Rockefeller agreed to to go ahead and sell them 90 acres of that fruit bear orchards to start their to build the monastery. So Father Bradley went back to the archdiocese and told them the news that he had acquired the 90 acres to start building on. So the archdiocese told him then they were going to hire Joseph Dillon and L.A. de Argine to be the architect for this, and they were going to allow him $400,000 to begin construction. Well, L.A. de Argine was the architect for Notre Dame, and originally the plans drew up show that they were going to have their own football stadium, their massive college dorms and classrooms, tennis court, their own electrical plant, and all these grand ideas, a huge fountain out front. And the monastery that we're in now was going to be a temporary chapel. A lot of people will come here and they'll see the chapel and they'll say, wow, this thing's not nearly what I thought it would be. I was expecting a big chapel. But this was only temporary because the original, the chapel that was going to be built would hold up to 20,000 parishioners. It was massive. But so the construction began, and on, I believe it was June of 1924, it was comprised of mostly prison labor. On the the west end of town, Kansas City here, is the old territorial prison. So they used the prisoners mainly as the construction workers. Free labor, it didn't cost them anything. So basically all they were building or spending the money on was the building supplies. They got going along in the construction in about 2005. Father Bradley, who had been promoted at that point to first abbot here at the Holy Cross Abbey, had to go before the archdiocese and say, hey, look, I know, you've given me $400,000 to build both this monastery and Ulathorn Hall, but I'm out of money and I'm $200,000 in debt. $600,000 doesn't sound like a lot today, but that was like $10, $12 million back in the day. So it was a lot of money, and what happened to the money has never really been disclosed. I have an idea, but I don't have the facts behind it to prove it. But I think it was lost in a flim-flam deal, and Bradley was, kept around because he was trying to do something good and basically got flim-flammed out of the money. At any rate, that's a whole nother story and a lot of conjecture. But so immediately, all the construction had to be downsized. And the whole idea that this was going to be grander than Notre Dame, all of a sudden they went back to the drawing board. they said, well, we just got to get the monastery finished and the boys' dorm, and then we'll figure it out from there. At that point, they didn't have the money to even finish the monastery. So then they brought in Father Schwinn. Father Schwinn took over all the finances, and Father Cyprius A. Bradley was stripped of all the financial dealings, but kept around to take care of all the administration stuff. And so within 7 years, then Father Schwinn, by going to all the archdioceses throughout the United States and getting them to agree to pay a monthly donation towards finishing the construction of the Holy Cross Abbey here, they were able to finish up the monastery and eventually get Ullathorne Halls built, which was 60 dorms for the boys across the breezeway here. Now, you got to remember too that during this time, now we're going into the 1930s, and we had World War I, the Great Depression happening and stuff like that. And so money was really, really tight at that time. But they were able to, again, there was a family that owned property, I'm not even sure where, that Rockefeller was interested in. That family was interested in some property that the Archdiocese owned up in Westcliff, about 60 miles west of us here. And of course, the monastery wanted more property to add to the monastery here. So there was a big land swap that took place. There was no money exchange, but they were able to acquire another 120 acres through that deal, which gives us the 200 acres we have today. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Do you?
And that was the Reader's Digest version.
There we go. Do you happen to have the picture? If not,
I can't hear you.
Oh, whoops. What?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I'm not muted. I'm not muted.
He just chooses
I can't
not
hear
to hear
anybody.
you, Adrian.
Wow.
Unmute yourself.
Well, unmuting wouldn't cause him not to be able to hear.
You guys can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is not good.
Turn up the hearing aids, Gramps.
I may have to jump out and come back in. I don't know. I don't know what happened to my mic.
That's fine.
Hi, Pear Pops. I told my used to call someone Pear Pops. I'm gonna call them Pear Pops instead.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, good. I can hear you now.
If you don't have that picture, can you just tell? I didn't get to take the picture when we were there this last time, but the little plaque that's outside of the building that talks about whatever is exercised from here will stay in this ground.
Right. That's actually in the cornerstone of the building, and it was sent down by the Vatican. Actually pours the dyes for them, and then they sent down the cornerstone. And basically, it's the Saint Michael's, like you see on all the Saint Michael's medals that most of the Catholics have. But on the other side, it's inscribed in Latin, and the outer portion of the Latin, basically, and I don't know it verbatim, but it's like basically what it says is, you conspire with the devil, expect to get your due. In other words, don't mess with the devil, don't do, devilish things. But then as you read the inside of the inscriptions, again in Latin, and again, this is not verbatim, but the gist of it is that any and all exorcisms that take place within this within this property, those spirits will be forever and all of eternity confined to this area, regardless of the building stay or whatever, to keep them out from getting back out to the people. And that's pretty freaky, because I do know that they've done exorcisms here. And oddly enough, nobody had told me. I was sitting in the building. Now it's been 2 summers ago. I'm watching my cameras. It was a Saturday, and they actually did an exorcism, and I was able to watch it on live.
Wow.
So there's still things going on here.
That's a exorcism is something I don't ever care to witness. That's nope.
Right?
I'm good there.
Well, I tell Rich all the time, I'm not ready for that step anywhere, even coming close to anything like that.
No,
Right.
no, I don't care to.
There was three priests all doing different things. They had built a little confessional. Then there was one in the sacristy. He was getting ready for some sort of a mass, and then there was one in the chapel, and it dealt with a family. There was about 8 or maybe 10 of them: grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, and then the children. But and of course, it was a very private moment. I didn't even keep the video because it was something that I just happened in on it.
Yeah, I don't. That's not my thing. Nope. But we did have somebody there that I didn't learn until after we had left who the man was. Did he go by Kevin?
Kevin.
The man that was there with you the first night.
Oh, that was Sean Crochet.
Okay.
My psychic sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sean Crochet.
He didn't tell me who he was.
I'm gonna sage him. I'm gonna sage him.
I'm getting it. Yeah.
But yeah, he did not tell me who he was. I found out later who he was. I guess he told somebody.
Sean Crochet has been on a lot of different TV shows. He's the psychic medium for Jack Osborne on Portals.
But I really appreciated him. That whether I would have known who he was or didn't wouldn't have made me treat him any different. But I did appreciate him validating, or when we would be able to see something or were able to hear something, he would validate, yes, that's what it is, or it's that direction and I see it, or whatever it was. I loved his.
Yeah, I've never heard him elaborate before.
Yeah. He was amazing. I did. When you talk to him again, tell him I said thank you. I do appreciate his input. He's
a good guy. We go way back, and yeah.
He was a very nice person, and for me not to know who he was because I'm nosy as hell anyway. That's perfect. Yeah, you laugh because you know. But it was.
We all know.
We do have. I don't know. Did anybody, Jeremy? Did you send him that video of what we got in the graveyard?
I didn't.
Yeah, the EVP we got in the graveyard. You didn't? Okay, we need to.
Video.
Because it was broad daylight and we were all over at the jail, and 2 of the girls went over to the graveyard, and one was videoing while the other was talking. And through the camera, it came through. The voice came through. They were the only 2 females there. There was no other people there, and it was a male voice came through. And we can't tell if it says St. Paul or something Paul. We all agree on Paul, but we don't know the rest of it.
There was a Father Paul over there. So it was a disembodied voice. Did they hear it audibly or just catch an EVP?
Just captured the EVP.
Okay.
Neither one of them knew it happened.
Cool. Because things happen over there all the time, and voices, they could be either EVP or a disembodied voice. You can get either or.
Now, Jan and I were, when we were leaving, when we left the investigation for the night, we went walking to just kind of ground again. And the first night, Scott is tall. Scott, that's wishful thinking, my dear.
I'm about to say,
I love you, but buddy, no.
Oh, jeez.
This guy, we call him the little gremlin. He's like tiny.
He's like 3 foot
He is.
tall. Little
Wait a minute, Scotty. Wait a minute.
He's
Why
not
are
3
you
foot.
wishing to be tall? No. Why are you wishing to be tall when you're on all girls boob level?
Yeah, right.
Please tell me that.
You got a point. So you got nothing to complain about.
Right? You're eye level. They can say, look at me. Don't look here. Look at me when you're right here.
Honest, Adrian, he might be
And they
right in our
can't judge you
bellies.
for it either.
That's okay.
I think
All right.
Short as
video.
That's right. It is good.
Video.
Who is hot?
But
And
we
you
did
can't
get
judge him
that
for that.
night.
You can't criticize.
No. We did get that night when we walked out there. We walked past the house and into the by the cemetery. We didn't walk into it, but there was a bunch of deer crossing at that point, and we did see a figure walking across that cemetery, and it stopped right at the gate. And Jan and I said, "Oh, holy hell!" Eileen is not that
You
tall.
may want to look at
Not
this
at all.
comment.
No, he will. He's like a 3 foot tall leprechaun, you know?
Oh no, I probably
he's going to be tougher to grab. Eileen, you know what that also may mean, right? That might be a little bit tougher for you to grab his ass if you ever have the chance of meeting him. You would have to duck to grab him.
No, you don't. He will hump your leg all the way up. I promise you. No,
I just keep going.
it's all good.
My leg will go, you know.
No, but we told him, you know, it's okay. You're not stuck here. You can walk. And of course, he's disappeared. But it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, there's a lot of deer here. I'm surprised you didn't run into the bear because he's been roaming around.
No, I did not. I was more worried about the bobcat.
Well, we got a few of them and raccoons. I mean, a lot of wild things out there. Besides Nick.
Nick, did you happen to see any wild animals?
Do I?
No, Nick.
No.
Oh, Nick.
Oh
No,
yeah,
Nick,
we saw the bats.
No, as a
We
matter
saw
of
the
fact,
bats, yeah.
I didn't. Oh yeah, we saw bats, but other than that, I didn't see anything else.
Hold on, I've got to reply to Scott. You always make us laugh, sweetie, and we love you to death for that.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course
we
he
do
does.
love you. But
Everyone else laughs with you, and I laugh at you.
Stringster.
well, Nick.
Who is the stringster Twitch user?
Hey, Stringster.
Whoever this
How are
is, I got
you? Yeah.
It's one of his moderators, right?
Stringster?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in my show.
This-
a lot.
Is this the moderator that is known to make jump scares?
No, that was Sir X Chris. He kept getting you all night long.
Yes. But you know, that actually helps because it gets your blood pumping, it gets your adrenaline going, so therefore activity ramps up.
Yeah, Nick was running out of Depends.
I believe that.
I'm honestly surprised that didn't happen. I'm so glad that didn't happen.
I even
I was
told
like,
him
I'll be right back.
one of those jump scares. Nick was prepared. Nick was prepared.
He told him to play it.
Scare, and he still jumps 20 feet.
Me too, because you told me what it was, and I still jumped.
Yeah, but you guys, when that happened, when I was expecting it the first time, you guys didn't say that it was going to be a different sound effect. I thought it was going to be the same.
Oh my, there might be two noises.
What's up, Todd? Hey, the Todd is on. The Todd is on.
No, just Todd. Just Todd.
Oh,
He is the Todd because
You
he's
might
the
say
only Todd I
otherwise.
know.
Yeah, me too. So until I see
Todd,
another
where's my
Todd, he is
Starbucks?
the Todd to me.
Where's my Starbucks, Todd? It's hot.
But it was,
You don't need
what was
Starbucks
the
this
sound
late at night.
effects were different. What was I supposed to do?
Jump. You did good.
Chris gave you the command to jump. You should have asked him how high.
Oh my.
So, Dennis, I do have a question for you, and we were actually talking about this in the van as myself, Nick, Scott, and Tammy were leaving. But is there a definitive front side to the building?
The chapel entrance as you come off the highway is actually that's where the mass would enter from. And the backside that you guys were using the most over by the event center, that would have been the administration end. Is that what you needed?
Yeah, because there was nothing that really told us this is the front of the building, this is the back of the building, and these are the sides.
Actually, well, that's true. It doesn't. But they do have offices on a sign that says offices on the north end of the building. But at the front, yeah. Why did you? I mean, I'm sorry you spent 2 days trying to figure out how to get in, but that's on you. Drive around! Drive around!
Like, go to the front of the building. Way to the front of the building.
Yeah.
So you've had investigations after us, right?
Yeah.
Has
There's been a
anybody
couple.
else
I've got
seen that little
from
thing?
now till September, till October. Now I'm booked up.
Has anybody seen that little thing since then?
I haven't really shown them it, but you want to see it?
We would be banned.
Oh, you mean the monster? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, the crawler.
Wait, what? Oh,
That's Nick.
yeah.
And that's
You gotta
That.
pay attention. Speaking of things,
Good thing I got up then.
Nick,
the crawler. Nobody. I would say not the crawler. And there's that tall thing now that you were with Agmatic Explorers when they were here with Mimi
yes.
back in the first investigation back in March.
Yep.
And you guys saw the big tall thing
Yeah.
that was hanging over the door.
Yep.
And if I could show you a picture, I would pop it up for you. But Paul drew that picture of what he
Right.
felt you guys saw, and everybody agreed it was pretty accurate. Now, after you guys left, there was a couple. There was 6 girls investigating. One of them being Misty, who was one of my guides. All 6 of them happened to look up the hallway in that same corridor, the long hallway where you guys ended up doing the experiment with the fog machine and the laser grid. That hallway, they saw that big tall thing, all 6 of them, and described it exactly the same as Paul's picture, not knowing that Paul had seen it prior to in your group. So then about 2 weeks ago, just before you guys came, then Sean, my psychic sidekick, actually saw it down there in the hallway. But on that particular night, he described it with red eyes. So whatever it is, it keeps the crawler in check. The crawler doesn't come around when that thing's around. So we haven't defined if it's a good thing or a bad thing, something we need to be worried about and try to get out of here, or if it's good to stay, because it hasn't really done anything other than scare people by its size. But Nick does that too.
Yeah. That whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if anybody else sees it after us.
Well, there has been.
Well, and if you remember, I was one of them who also saw it too, and so did Jan. She saw it too.
So, the numbers are rising. People are seeing it without prior knowledge of it being seen. So to me, that's some sort of validation. Have I seen it personally? No. No, and I want to.
Yeah, that is not even that thing was not a joke. But to have validation of others seeing it, we know it's not. We were just tired, or whatever the case might have been.
Right. We do have something that comes in from Hawthorne Hall occasionally. Did you guys never made it to Hawthorne Hall?
No.
I never took you guys over there.
No.
But there's something that comes over from the Hawthorne Hall that when it enters, I have to send it back because it's not nice. It plays like it's all demonic and whatnot. It's just a pissed off spirit. And I don't like him around because if you allow it to, he will get you. But I don't give in to the fear. So
yeah. And that's another thing the audience needs to know. You're an investigator yourself.
Yes, have been for 50 years, more than 50 years.
So when somebody's acting a fool's, when somebody's faking stuff, when somebody's actually legit.
Well, there's always those points where you don't know that it's somebody necessarily. But I'm an investigator at heart, just like a fireman. I'm going to go running towards the fire to find out, to put it out. I'm not running away from it. So if I hear a strange noise or something happens, I'm going to do my best to find out some sort of, and that's me. After 50 years, I kind of define myself as a skeptic believer. I definitely believe because there's things that I cannot possibly explain. But by the same token, I'm not Zach Bagan where I'm freaking out saying, oh my God, I seen a piece of dust, and we here at the Abbey believe that's Father Cyprius A. Bradley, and he's a little pissed off coming to get Dennis. I'm not that guy.
Right. And we did find that Father Chung, we were looking at his grave there, and it had that little square of like marble or whatever that was.
Right.
And we did find that meant his body really isn't there.
So they say, but Father Howard actually built his coffin. He is there.
They allowed him to be buried there.
And that is totally for you guys that don't know Father Chung. I'll give you a Reader's Digest version. Father Chung, Ming Chung, was being tried. He was a suspect for child molestation, and so while they were doing to the investigations, they sent him to St. Catherine's monastery over in Colorado Springs. Of course, we know that it takes 7-8 months for them to formally do their investigation. Well, during that time, he gets a phone call one day from his one of his fellow monks here at the Abbey, and they said, hey, it looks like they've got enough evidence. They're coming to arrest you. Well, in that time that it took them to come arrest him, he went out in the parking lot dragging an old vacuum hose and plugged one end of the vacuum hose into the exhaust pipe of his car, got into the car, started it up, pulled the other end of the vacuum in there, started the car, and by the time they got there, he had asphyxiated himself. And so all charges, of course, you're not going to try a dead man. So he was never convicted of that. The part that bothers me about all that is you're right. I had a friend when I was a sophomore in school who committed suicide. I lived in a very, very, an Italian town which was 99% Catholic. Well, this kid that committed suicide, the family could not even have a service there for him. And then they were told that they couldn't bury him in the family plot because that was in the Catholic section. And I remember how distraught, not only have you just lost your son, but now the church is not going to bury you, and you have to find a new place to bury you. And for Father Chung to be convicted of that now, or not convicted, but accused of that, and I've talked to a lot of alumni here that said absolutely it happened, and absolutely, there's some witnesses here that come to the alumni, and they will verify that he absolutely was guilty, and he probably would have been sent to prison for it, but he was never tried. So what upsets me is the fact that, like you're saying, Adrian, he's buried in a very prestigious spot, and not only is it just a Catholic cemetery, but it's amongst 4 of the other abbots that were here at the monastery, surrounded by some of the very well-known priests, and then the monks around him. True story, when the alumni come here, they make it a point to go and spit on his grave.
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
They don't agree that he should be there either. Father Howard used to build the caskets for, I think there was 11 caskets he built, plus one for the very last person that was put to death in the gas chamber down at the prison. He built their coffin as well.
Oh,
yeah.
That prison, I tell you
Wow.
what, that prison, you cannot walk through there. I don't care if you're empathic, if you're not, you cannot walk through there without a million emotions, because, you see the pictures that they drew for their family that they missed. And yes, I'm 100% sure that there was some which they did find. One was innocent.
Yeah, that was Joe Artie.
Yeah.
Joe Artie.
But going near that gas chamber, it's like something tells you, you want to feel what it's like? I'll show you.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel that till you leave.
Yeah.
And
the weird thing is
like, no, what I was gonna say was, it's like an example of, this is how close to death you could pretty much get to, especially close to when you're being executed. I mean, this is as close as to an execution you can get and leave alive.
but
really
you
crazy.
can see them. You can see those pictures of those people just grinning like, screw you.
Yeah, like it's no big deal to them.
Yeah. That bothered me.
And the really creepy part about that.
Go ahead, Dennis. Go ahead.
This happens all the time, Dennis.
Okay. The really creepy part about that is that the actual territorial prison that was built in 1856 still stands beside it. You can still hear it. It's still an active prison.
Yeah.
Right next to that museum. You can hear them out in the summertime when they're playing baseball or being called to come to chow or whatever. It's still an active prison. And they do. And the reason why they're still keeping it open and it'll probably never close is because they still manufacture license plates, and they do it for other states in that very facility.
Right.
Yeah. We heard him calling
Jeremy,
him.
why don't you should tell him about one. Yeah, we heard him too. Yeah, we heard him over the speaker. But Jeremy, you should tell him about where we first entered the prison, because you thought you were going through the right parking lot, but you should say which parking lot did we end up in instead.
But that's because
you remember?
missed it. That's because
we ended up going into the.
Yeah, we went into the main.
Go.
We went into the main prison parking lot because somebody when I was supposed to turn.
What?
Yeah, the GPS was on my phone.
No, I wasn't familiar with. I wasn't familiar with this area. How was I supposed to know? I just remember I was like, Jeremy,
you to tell me to turn.
No, I was like, when you made that turn, I was like, well, Jeremy, I think we're actually in the parking lot of the actual prison, visitation area, and I'm actually looking up where the guard towers were, and I actually thought the guards were ready to get the snipers ready, but I didn't know I was supposed to be the one making the directions.
He was trying to drop you off.
You weren't. It was called a GPS.
Right? You ever hear of those things?
Yeah, that's why we have a GPS.
Turn.
Do you have those in Illinois? Like GPS?
Wait, hold on. What did you say?
Okay.
Do you have GPS in Illinois?
I heard an S on the end of that.
No. Hang on a second. Before
Yeah,
you answer that question, let me make sure I pronounce it correctly. Despite that there's an S at the end of Illinois, the S is silent. It's Illinois, not Illinois.
No, it's Illinois.
Well, thank you, Grammar Police.
You know what? Well,
No, the reason I'm picking on
guess
you
what? Dennis,
is
you're
because
not
I add the S all the time just to aggravate him. So I was so thankful when I heard you say it.
I was about to say that you're not the first to say it that way.
And won't be the last.
See, and I only thought it would just be Eileen because she was down in Mississippi. But unfortunately, I'm starting to see it happen with other people. Like, come on.
So are you with Thing Network or Things?
I'm with both Things Network and Things of Illinois.
Yeah, because there's an
Maybe
S
the
on
S
the
was
end.
silent.
There's an S on the end
Wait,
of
what?
it.
Yes, but for Illinois, the S is silent.
Wait. Oh, hold on. There's an S on the end of yes.
Okay. So,
Yay.
Nick, I want you to pronounce the capital of Kentucky.
I know.
Louisville.
What is it?
Louisville. That's I learned that from Ernie. Remember,
Do you know
Jeremy?
how hard it is? That is so hard for me sometimes because we have a Louisville spelled the same way here. And so Louisville is, I get back.
Well, and
I grew up in Louisville, Colorado.
Before that,
I was in Kentucky. We go to Louisville.
That's not the capital of Kentucky.
Well, guess what? I've always before Ernie
It's
told me
actually
that
not
I
the
always did
capital.
pronounce it as Louisville. Oh,
Contrary to popular belief, my God, it's been a long day.
Lexington, isn't it?
Frankfurt. It's Frankfurt. But
Frankfurt, okay.
that's what I was trying to get him to say was Louisville.
I was this many years old when I learned that.
Yeah.
well, here's actually something else I'll tell you guys. We actually have, believe it or not, a Louisville in Illinois, like in the central part of the state. But here's the thing. Like, if you were from like the Louisville area and you came up to this Louisville in Illinois, despite that it's spelled the exact same way as the Kentucky one, it's actually not pronounced that same. They actually prefer it as Louisville. So if you have somebody from Louisville, Kentucky, go up and they say it wrong, that's going to piss them off.
Okay.
But to answer your question, though,
Well, bless your heart. Where are you from?
Different part of the country, dude. Have you ever heard? When I get pissed off, you hear my accent. Now, that's where it comes from.
I know you do.
It's Kentucky.
Bless your heart.
I'm sure it is.
Bless your
It's just something I
pea-picking little
discovered.
heart.
Well,
So if we could get Jeremy to stop
locals, so
talking
that's
so
all.
much.
Oh, Jeremy knows that
Quiet one.
we go way out there. Excuse me?
Can you hear it?
Let me annoy Adrian so you can hear it.
Well, anyways,
You want to hear your
Brad,
son.
let me tell you this in the most southern way I can. Fuck you.
So, Dennis, I was going to answer your question now about GPSs. Yes, we do have them in Illinois.
All right.
They just
You
don't
got
That
have
is so metropolitan.
But you still can't follow him.
That's why I followed you, Ubers and Lyfts for. They do the
there
work.
You
No.
This is paranormal comedy, folks.
So tell us, when do the tours or the investigations begin and end every year?
When I start and when I finish.
Exactly. So when is that?
When he wakes up and when he goes to bed.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
Yeah.
he leaves there. I promise. He leaves there.
I don't. I mean, we'll do them year round, but let me tell you, you guys were here during the summertime. You know how hot it was on the 4th floor.
Oh.
But in the winter, it's just the opposite. It is so cold up there.
Freezing.
You will freeze to death in this building because there's no heat.
Yep.
But if you want to go in, we'll go in because I've got heaters in here in the wintertime and I got air conditioning in the summertime. You guys go do what you want to, and I'll try to find your bodies eventually.
Yeah.
I have braved camping in an ice storm, so we're good. I'm good with that.
Okay, well, but typically I run them from about March in through. The haunted house consumes all of October, so I can do stuff during the week, but during the weekends they pretty much have run of the campus here. So I might do them in November, but I've done them in December. You'll see me in here during December, January, and February, and I'm doing my live streams on Twitch, doing investigations by myself. And I figure at least if I freeze to death, you can see where I froze and at least tell somebody to go find my body. I mean, that'd be very who of you if you did.
Yeah. We'll bury you way away from the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is like your most like memorable thing that's happened to you there?
It probably doesn't mean a whole lot to anybody. And it was we have on the 4th floor. I love the 4th floor because there's children on the 4th floor. Don't ask me why, because this was an all-boys school, and you had to be 11 through 18 years old to go to school here. We're talking little kids. We're talking 5, 6, 7-year-old kids that play on the 4th floor. We have one entity, which again, if I could pop it up, I'd show you the shadow figure we caught of little Abigail up there.
If you could send to Jeremy, he could probably pop it up.
Do you have it, Jeremy? Do you have a picture or no?
The Abigail?
Yeah, we're both going, don't make me do this. I should have said that earlier, but I'll send it to you guys and you can post it up later. Or you can come out and check out my pages. I don't care. But
really quick,
anybody that wants to go there, hit me up. I've got his info.
If you just Google "What's Up, Gramps," you're going to find me. That's the name of 95% of my channels.
We will go. I guarantee.
There you go. Twitch and "What's Up, Gramps" right there.
I have been there twice, and the activity is unreal.
So the experience I had with little Abigail was very personal level, and it just happened recently. And it's not anything I can prove. It's not anything. I don't care if anybody believes me or not, because I think it was a moment for just me. And I've been here for 13 years. These spirits have taken a liking to me. They know that I'm here to protect them. Yeah, that's Abigail's room.
Hey, and there's Lucy.
Yeah. So we take her toys and candy and all kinds of stuff. And there's toys that line up the hallway. We do EVP sessions, and if you just sit down, quiet yourself, they'll come to you. They love it when I'm up there doing the portal. I've got an SB7 and I plug it into my portal and I do EVP sessions. I've got a motion light cat ball, and then me, a motion light, cat ball, and me covering the upstairs. And I would tell them, come to me, and you'll see a motion light go off, then a cat ball. And I say, if that's really you guys, I need more validation than that. Can one of you go light up one of the lights on the other? And as I say, the other end, one of the lights start lighting up at the other end. And then you can hear them. I use a parabolic mic. I'm pretty deaf. But even when I'm streaming, my people will tell me, we hear their voices, we hear their chatter, and you could audibly hear them talking, and you can't really make out what they're saying, but they're having conversation, and you hear them sliding their feet around. And I play hide and go seek and sing different songs with them and do different interactions with them. And sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're not. But here you ask for my most, how did you word it? My most
memorable experience.
Yeah, okay. There's been a lot of things happen here that would probably freak most people out. But the one most memorable I had, a lot of you don't know, this past summer, I've got heart issues and breathing issues and lung issues, and I really hit the weeds hard. And there was a couple of months there that I was grinding, just trying to stay alive, literally. And I came into the monastery. My shower is down in one of the rooms because I'm a full-time RVer, and I live in my RV here at the monastery. But I do have the use of a shower over on the first floor. So I came in to take a shower. My breathing was so bad that I had to stop 3 or 4 times. And I'm talking, I'm only 100 yards from here, the front door to my RV. And I had to stop 4 times just to get into the building. Then I take that hot shower, and it was, I guess, just the heat and everything else. I came out of the shower and I couldn't make it back to the RV. This is during the daytime. So I sat in the hallway for about 45 minutes. And finally I said, you got to do something. Can you make it upstairs? At least you have air conditioning up there. So it took me probably 20 minutes to make it up the stairs to come into my command center where I'm at here. And I sat in here for probably another half an hour. And then it just happened. This was on a Saturday. They were having a wedding. And the event center where you guys came in on, the building in behind the monastery, at the front door, the unofficial front door, Jeremy. Actually, it's the official front door now. They were having a wedding over there, and I was sitting in here, and I finally talked myself into, look, dude, you got to get out to the RV. You can't sit in here all day long. Muster up whatever it takes, but get back out to the RV so you can lay down. So I finally decided to try and make it to the RV. And you got to understand, I was in really bad shape. My oxygen level was running about 68 to 72 without oxygen. I was suffocating. So it was taking everything I had to get back to the RV. I get to the end of the window here on the second floor and look down. And at that time, that wedding had set up a line on both sides of the sidewalk because the bride and groom were getting ready to leave. So they were going to throw the rice and do all that stuff. And I was just kind of it took everything I could do to get down there. And I was just I just couldn't go any further when I saw that line. And of course, I wasn't going to walk across it. So here's long story, but you have to hear all that. So I just kind of fell against the wall and slid down the wall and just laid there for a minute. And all of a sudden, I could feel something right beside me. And then, it was like right on my side. And then I felt her head lay down on my shoulder. And she sat there for probably 5 minutes. I could feel that presence beside me. And she was just down there comforting me.
Wow.
I thought, well, I have a camera right there. Maybe I can go back and catch that on the video. But it was not meant to be. I was just slightly in that corner. You couldn't see me in the camera. You could see my feet, but you couldn't see what was happening beside me. That was one of my most memorable moments. It was very touching, very compassionate, and it just shows the love that these kids have for me, because I've protected them all these years, and I don't allow provoking. And if I catch you doing things inappropriately here in the monastery, I have no problems throwing your ass out. Because I'm all about protecting the history, the children, and the spirits here, and they know that.
Yeah, I know you said that there were 11 and up when they came in there. Why is there little bitty, like maybe 4 or 5-year-old handprints at the nun's house?
I can't honestly say. There's some other things that go on at the nun's house that I can't give you an explanation for. Remember, I told you about Sister Teresa's room. We had one of our guests stay there. It was one of my mayhem weekends. She stayed up in that room, and she was one that was very about makeup and perfume, and I call them girly girlies, which is nice. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but the nuns sure do. And they didn't much care for her personal cosmetics and stuff like, because it wasn't about you. And for them, it was all about God. So they weren't happy with her. They tore up her room. Connie and I were in the building. It was 3:30 in the morning. Connie could hear it. I couldn't hear it. And she heard all the furniture being thrown around and all this stuff in a locked room. I didn't hear it. So the next morning, actually later on that day, about 11 o'clock, we all meet back in the kitchen. And Connie is saying, "Oh my God, you didn't hear what was going on." I said, "No, I didn't. What's up?" She said, "You didn't hear all that racket upstairs. I was dead tired. I wanted to go to bed, but I was afraid they were going to get me if I went up there." And then finally I said, "The heck with it. Either I'm going to die of exhaustion or they're going to get me, so I'm going to go upstairs." And she went to bed. And so Cindy comes in. She's the gal that was staying in the room. She comes into the kitchen about an hour later, and she says, "I know I have the key to the room. I'm the only one up there. But when I went up there, my nightstand was turned over. My bed was messed up. My makeup was spread out through the room. There's absolutely nobody was in that room. Nobody could get in that room. She had the only key." So I set up some 2 static IR cameras after everybody left, and I left them in there for 2 days. And I could see both ends of the room and set up the table. Somebody had given me I've got it back here. Somebody had given me a bag of makeup and stuff to put on that nightstand like she had it. And first day, nothing happened. Second day, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sunny, bright, nothing unusual. And I with my Wi-Fi cameras, I actually had the monitor in the RV, and all of a sudden I heard a noise and saw that the cam went to IR and then flicked back to daytime. But as it did that, then as soon as you heard or you saw that light switch, you heard a and it switched out. So we also got quite a few things happening down there in the basement of the sister's house. Sister's house doesn't get investigated a lot. You have to stay there in order to investigate it. And but it is definitely got some activity. And that's one other point I want to make real quick. I'm really hard pressed to call anything haunted. And I don't call this place haunted. I call it spirited. The place is very spirited. Just a nicer way of saying it, because I think most people freak out when they hear the word haunted, whereas when you say spirited, it's just a nicer way to say it.
We did run some cameras there at the nun's house while we were there for both nights. Nick, a good friend of yours is in the audience tonight, and it is Mr. Chris Bender. may know
Chris
him
Sanders.
as the guy who sent you all of those jump scares that night that we
What?
Hey, Sir X.
Wait, what?
Chris, I need you to personal message me because I need one of your audio things for a minute.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
known as
God
Sir
damn
X
it.
on Twitch.
Oh my
Jump
God.
scare king, without a doubt.
I was going to say, I have no idea what. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Exactly
God
who he
damn it.
is.
I'm in trouble now. I'm in serious trouble now. Jeez, now I'm going to wish that
I need a
I'm
couple
now
of
starting to
your,
wish. I think
your
I'd rather.
little clips, okay?
Chris is one of my moderators on Twitch.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Chris is
shit.
amazing.
Nick? What'd you say, Nick?
I love talking to him.
You heard me, Eileen.
one step away from calling
What I mean?
somebody a dickhead tonight.
Wait, what was that, Jeremy?
I think you are one step away from calling somebody a dickhead tonight.
Yeah, he has this really bad habit of calling our guests unknowingly a dickhead.
We gotta find that clip.
Oh, and by the way, Nick actually found that clip, sent me the timestamp for me to go through and cut that out.
Well, we do. It's on my somebody. Sir X clipped it on mine. You can find it on Twitch.
Chris,
All the jump scares on Nick.
I need the little dance,
That is,
and I need the jump scare.
No, we need to
Jeremy,
take
that
it.
is now going to be
the clip.
decision.
Go ahead.
What? What, Nick?
No, I was saying that is now going to be a decision I'm going to regret after telling you the timestamp of what I said on that show.
Well, I do have all the videos from us being on your channel, so I can go through and cut those clips out of each time Nick got scared.
No,
I've got the VODs, or you can get them off of YouTube because it was streaming on YouTube at the same time too. Your entire weekend is recorded.
What you need to do is you need to put it on the intro video. Like
On a
lower
what?
the music at that point and put it on
hell
the intro.
no. Hell no.
That's a good idea.
Yes,
Hell
we do.
no. That's not going to. I'm going to have to get a GoFundMe going to make sure we prevent that from happening.
For that heart attack you're gonna have, yeah, you might.
Well, how about a GoFundMe video to produce that video?
All right, I got about 1,000. Ready? I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah, but wait. I have an idea then. Here's what we're going to have to do, because if you're asking to basically have that as part of the GoFundMe, then that means if there's going to be 2 GoFundMes going after, let's see who reaches the top first.
I think we'll win that one, not you.
You might be surprised.
Okay, guys, I got a question. When your husband brings you dinner and it looks like this,
Your name's covering it.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not covering that.
Looks good to me.
I'm about to say there's nothing wrong with that. At least it's not ketchup coming out of it.
That's right.
Better if he did put some ketchup
Are
on.
you sure about that?
How
Eileen? Are
often
you sure?
do you see me back up Zach?
I hope never, because
I
he's crazy
just
as hell.
She just
I
did.
just did though.
That's
Danger.
scary.
Danger.
He says, "Bitch, if you don't go to bed when you're supposed to, watch."
Get off the podcast.
Hey, at least it's not the gun, because he wouldn't even have to say anything, because all you hear is.
Those are upstairs.
Doesn't take long to get them downstairs.
And that's it for TikTok.
Okay, I am done taking up for
So-
Zach.
So Adrian, where did you guys where did you have your most experience while you were here?
It had to be right in front of your where your room is right now.
Really?
When we were trying to track that dark entity, I don't know if it was a crawler or the other.
I forgot about that. You guys were down in the chapel, and Nick got attacked, I believe.
He got very affected.
I was. Yes, definitely.
And then gosh, I can't remember her name. Not
Jan.
Jan. Jan ended up having to calm him down. Sean went down there, and you guys came up to the second floor, and it disappeared right outside in the hallway outside my office.
He went in.
Wow.
That was a really bad experience with what I had.
That's what I
was whatever it was not picking up.
Yeah,
so that's why I opened the door.
Was like, did you guys like he's in here? And that's when your friend came out and he was like, it was in here and it's right here. It's walking down the hall.
So what happened to you, Nick? Tell me about your experience.
So this was obviously like during the middle of the ghost, but we were doing a ghost box session. We had a few of the devices out, and I just this occurred literally really not long after we began. I started feeling this terrible, like uncomfortable stabbing feeling in my stomach. It was so uncomfortable. It felt like I was ready to vomit. And I knew very well that I had not eaten anything bad. It was just like something just grabbed. It was like as if someone just grabbed hold of my stomach and just just like squeezed it as hard as they possibly could. And it was just so uncomfortable. And that's when I guess Jen kind of noticed, that something was not right with me. And that's when I was telling her that something's going on. So she came over and gave me basically this energy of protection, and I thought that was going to be it. And at first that pain eventually disappeared until I walked up the stairs to where the choir was, because something was drawing us into the room with the organ. However, after a few minutes I decided to go back downstairs, and I sat in the very same spot, and then all of a sudden that pain came back. This time it was a lot worse, like as if it was coming back at me with a vengeance. And I told Jan, who by then was back downstairs, saying that it was happening. And she just like grabbed hold of me. We just started praying, and was giving me more of that energy. And then what's his name? The other guy that was there, he had to bless me. Yeah, he had to bless me with holy water. I mean, he put it on my forehead, on my chest, on my shoulders, my back, all over the place.
We
so
keep gallons of it over here.
The craziest thing is well, and the craziest thing is, because some people would ask, I was shocked that this happened, but I wasn't scared or terrified, because that was one of the things I wanted to make sure not to do, was to show any kind of fear. And of course, obviously, as we just kind of explained earlier, is that's when eventually it finally showed itself to me and Jan. And that, but perhaps the weirdest thing out of the entire experience, and I'll never forget this, but I started having like these recap visions of what exactly happened to me during that event. I even had a dream about it. This time I could actually see that very tall entity that we were describing earlier, but this time it had glowing red eyes, and it literally bent over in this. It was like an astral projection like experience almost. It bent over and used one of its long arms along with its long fingers to grab hold of me, and that's where the stomach pain was coming from. The last image I can remember from this vision was, even though it was dark inside, and even though I can only see these glowing red eyes, its expression just turned into the sinister smile, almost like it was taking pleasure in my torment. But as soon as Jan ran over to my aid, it let go and it ran off into the darkness. So it was, I mean, I could basically draw a sketch of it if I was able to.
So what were you guys doing before all that happened? What you were doing an experiment in the chapel, or what?
we were doing a ghost box session. That's all basically what we were doing. And I had a few other devices, but I had that spread out. I had the Rook, I had a K2. I think I had the laser thermometer with me. I had a variety of tools, but we had them all scattered. But for the most part, it was obviously a spirit box session that we were doing. So I really still know to this day what exactly had this entity giving attention to me and trying to latch itself on, because it was pretty much clear this entity had set its sights on me for whatever reason.
Well, I think when I was giving the tour, I told you all that since spring, we've been having some sort of battle take place in the chapel for control. And I believe that Agatha Stripmeyer, who was one of the abbots, he was the fourth abbot here at the monastery, had gained control back. But as recently as same thing that, as I said, about 2 weeks before you guys got here, Sean saw that entity with the red eyes and felt like it something was trying to take over the chapel again.
Yep.
So you guys, whatever you.
I still remember. I still remember how huge it was. This thing. I mean, you've seen me now, Tennis. I'm a pretty tall guy myself. I'm about 6'1", 6'2". This thing, I could tell, was even taller than me. It had to have been well over 7.5 to 8 feet tall.
Wow. So yeah, Adrian, after that happened, then I could see you guys. in the cams. Mm-hmm. You went up to the bell tower and then into where the little organ room is, mm-hmm. and then you came down the hallway. Tell me what you guys were doing then.
We were like chasing that spirit down the hallway, not so much chasing it as following it. We were trying to get rid of it. We knew it was evil, whatever that was. And that's when it went into your door. And we were asking him, did you see this? Do you know it's here? He said it was, and it's going down that hallway right now. And that's when Jan cornered it there. But I tell you what, when I walked by Nick going to your room, I could feel it. And it wasn't on him, it was beside him or behind him, because I could feel that energy coming off of next to him. It was not good, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and I kind of felt it too. I mean, it was quite obvious, even if I was completely unaware. And I was just being tormented. And Jan would later explain that this entity had bad intentions. So that told me, I already knew for a fact this thing was not friendly. And it was, according to what Janet told me, it wanted to use me. It wanted to hide in me. So essentially probably take possession of me and eventually make me do terrible things to others or to myself. I mean, it had dark intentions.
You were the innocent one in the group. Hell, you blush when we talk about boobs.
Boobies.
You were the innocent one in the group.
I guess I am.
So, Jeremy, where were you during that? I don't remember.
What's that?
Where were you during all this? Were you down there?
I was not with them. I don't even know where I was.
I know what you were doing. You were setting up cameras still, because it happened so fast and so early in the night.
So
you were still setting up cameras.
That would have been early then on Friday night.
Adrian, look what you did now in the chat. Look what you're inspiring people to say.
Hey, some of us had to gain weight later in life to gain them. So we have no problem with them. We're good. We're good. When you go through your whole life as an A cup, we're good. We're good.
Only benefit of weight gain.
Hey,
I did feel something on the fourth floor at the very end of everything. It was when I went to take Lucy up to get that picture with Abigail. As I was walking out, as warm as it was, all of a sudden I just felt this chill throughout my entire body when I got about halfway down the hallway. And I just ignored it to see if anything would happen, but nothing ever did. I just had that chill all the way until I got to the stairs, and then it just went away.
What was fun about the fourth floor is that whole weekend we had those big bats up there. And you guys, of course, couldn't see them because you didn't have the IR light, and most of the time doing something in the dark. But I can tell you, they were swooping you guys all night long. I'm commentating, saying they didn't see a thing, they didn't feel it, they didn't, and it was like flying right by you.
You know what's really funny? We're starting to put our evidence in the chat room we had for this event, and some of the girls, it's amazing. Mimi actually caught. There was a figure which she saw from the other end of the basement hallway.
With the fingers?
It was caught, yes, and it was caught from this end of the hallway, which at this end, she caught the fingers on her video.
I didn't see it at first, but boy, when I watched it over again, you could very clearly see them.
Right, and then there was another video where it was caught as a light coming out of that room with the music notes. It was coming out, not out, but it was like at the doorway. Mimi at the other end saw a dark shadow where we caught it on camera as a light shadow, a light figure. And it was really cool.
Wow. Yeah.
To validate both ends of it.
So you guys had quite a bit of evidence then, really.
I tell you what, every time I've been there has been, whether it's personal evidence or whether it's, caught on camera, which the first time I went, I had my body cam on and it never worked. It did not, it recorded nothing.
Wow.
And it could be user error. I'm not even going to say it. But this time, my husband accidentally deleted all my evidence except for one tiny clip because it breaks it apart on the cop cam. So there was
the dog. It wasn't him. It was the dog.
No, that's very possible. There's 3 of them. But it really, that's a pic of no, that wasn't Abigail's room. That was downstairs. It was really cool. It was downstairs in that music room.
And that music room you're referring to has a Gregorian chant.
Yes.
Written in German on the wall.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And
something we just discovered recently.
We did do some history on the Germans and how they, how they got here and not how they got here, but how they ended up in monasteries, things like that, which was really cool. But
a lot of them came during Nazi Germany to escape Hitler.
Right. And that was the evidence that I found when I was looking things up. But, just the personal evidence. The first time I came home, I had, I'm not going to say a foster child because he wasn't. We kind of took custody of him for some stupid reason. We had this autistic boy that was dropped off on our doorstep, and they said, either take care of him, he's homeless. What are you going to do? Yes, I took care of him. But I also knew that he was more susceptible to anything that came home than I was. And he was pretty mean on his own without any of that. But he, the first time in March when I came home, I put my keys down and I kept smelling, and I was telling Mimi, I smell blood. I keep smelling blood. I don't understand it. She goes, blood? I'm like, okay, I just held my keys. It might be the metal off my keys, so I go wash my hands. I couldn't get rid of that blood smell. It followed me everywhere. So I saged the whole house, and I didn't smell it again until I came home again from this investigation. And I smell blood every time I come home. I don't know what it is. Have no idea, but it's gone now.
That's odd. That'd be kind of creepy, actually.
It was, but my first thought, okay, metal keys smell like blood or metallic smell. That could be that.
Right.
So,
Be
you know,
careful
you
of
go
that
wash your
metallic
hands.
smell. That does mean other things medically too.
Yeah, but it's funny. That's the only time I've ever seen it or smelt it. And yes, I'm anemic. Absolutely, I'm anemic, and I take blood thinners. But the only time that's ever happened is when I come home from the Abbey, and then within a day, it's gone.
It's odd. There's a lot of strange smells in here, though.
There
And
is
that was one
nothing
thing that
more-
I asked you guys to be aware of was different smells and
Mhm.
let me know what you did smell. But I haven't heard blood.
I did not smell it there at all.
Not here.
Nope.
Okay.
No, the only thing I smelled there that was so potent was either the smell of the like the different spices and sage, or not sage, but like the whatever they put in the little thing that they, you know, go back and forth with. Of course, you can tell I'm not Catholic. But that, and I smelled roses at one point, but blood, I never smelled there. The most pungent thing I smelled there was that room where they kept dead people. You definitely smell the formaldehyde.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And
body
that's
room.
not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I see Misty's in the chat.
Yeah. I don't understand it either. I really don't. And it did go away within a day. The first day I saged and it went away. Do I believe in sage making things go away? No, I don't. But I do believe that it gets rid of energy if it's residual energy. Now, this time I didn't sage and it went away in a day. And the
And this
boy
is the only time it's ever happened is at the Abbey.
yes.
Wow. Huh.
And it's only when I come home. I don't smell it on the way home. I don't smell it any other time. It's only when I get home from there.
Oh, Adrian,
Yeah.
you got brought that. I got brought
You got what is it?
ice cream.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
dog food?
I was a little worried for a minute.
Right?
I thought it was dog food or something.
I did too.
Got ice cream because it's hot.
Well, see, I took the rest of my burger and I tore it apart. I hid the knife and I ate the rest of it.
That quick?
Well, yeah, kind of.
I got nothing.
See, I would have actually said, Eileen, are you sure that's the right bowl? Because I know since you had a cat, I hope you didn't like switch that with your cat's food. So you sure you got the right bowl right there?
No, my cat's bold probably. My animals live better than I do.
Yeah, mine too. Mine too. I'm thinking blood infusions are like someone needing blood. That's very possible because I don't believe in those days that I don't know. Dennis, did doctors really come out there in those days?
They had an infirmary. That was the front part of the building in the administration portion. As far as doctors and whatnot, I'm sure that they had professionals outside the building, or I mean, even the body room. I don't think they did any of the morticians' work here. They would bring the body after it had been embalmed back here. There's stories, and you'll hear people tell you, "Oh no, they did. They kept them in the meat locker, and they did all the embalming there in the slaughter room, and all this." Those stories are not true. I believe that they did it outside and then brought it in, brought the bodies in. So, as far as I'm sure there was some pretty serious injuries at one time or another where they had to seek hospitals or something like that. But again, that would have been kept within the archdiocese. They wouldn't let any of that information out.
Right. And that smell of formaldehyde. I have never smelled formaldehyde before, but that smell, for it to stay there that many years.
Yeah, because
that had to be strong.
This place has been desanctified since 1998. So, and the last time that there was probably a body in that room was probably in the 1960s. So for that smell to still be standing in there for, well, 60, 40, 50, 60 years now is amazing. But it is very, very strong.
I do know that the day we left, we had there was a news article that came across where there was a man that was he hit by a car? Something like that, where he was killed right in front of the monastery.
Jeremy must have been driving and hit somebody.
No. This man was getting ready. And that's the strange part. He was getting ready to go down and I might be wrong. I need to look at that again. But I was thinking child molestation. And he was walking through there and got hit by a car.
There were several involved in that, and of course, I know, but a lot of names only through the alumni.
Right.
But and I also know that there was one of the abbots were full aware of everything that was going on, but chose to protect the priests and monks rather than the children.
Right. No, this was a recent case. Like it happened the day before we left.
Oh.
Somebody was killed right outside there on the highway.
Here?
Yes. Yes. It came across our news feed or whatever, but it was really strange because
I'm here and I didn't hear it. I hear the sirens because the firehouse is right across the road. But
right. No, this happened real close to the monastery, like right in front on the highway. And he was in trouble for something. And he ended up getting run over by a car. And it was 3 weeks ago. Yep. That's when we were there. That's right, Misty. And, it made me wonder. He knew he was in trouble for stuff. He died. Did he maybe come to the monastery for forgiveness? I mean, where would you go if you were getting ready to go to hell?
He laid in the road. Is that what she said?
Yes, it was on the road. Looks like Misty knows. He laid in the road. He was on trial.
Wow. Okay. I'm
And it
gonna
made me
send me
wonder,
that.
was he there?
Misty, send me over that article. I'd be interested in reading. I missed it all.
Be nice to see the article. Yeah.
Huh. That's
Hey,
crazy.
Jill, you're right. Because, that reminds me. There was, I was going to have Sean send me the obituary of the lady.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay, can you send that to me?
Yeah, I've got that and actually a photograph of her.
That's what I'm wanting to see because I saw a woman.
Yeah, and she's actually a young, like 27-year-old Asian
Brown hair?
woman. Yeah, it would have been dark hair. She's Asian.
Okay, I didn't see the Asian part. I just saw brown hair.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Again, let me make a note because.
Okay. Yeah, but that made me wonder, did he maybe come in and try to get help? Was that maybe someone we saw? I don't know.
Yeah, I did. It's even odder. I didn't hear anything about it.
And could that be why we got more monk activity? That night. I don't know.
So you guys were here when it happened, not leaving, but here.
We were leaving when we saw the article, but we were there when it happened.
Wow. Okay.
We didn't know anything about it, but yeah.
Okay.
And we were in and out all 3 days.
Right, but this was way out on the
Yeah,
highway. I know
yeah.
we can hear the cars from the highway, but there's not a lot more you could hear.
Yeah. And it depends on really
Right.
on what end of the building you're on, whether you even hear the highway.
Right. And we were concentrating inside, not.
Yeah.
And we did get, at one point, somebody heard a baby cry.
Wow.
And we thought maybe that might have been, hey, Sir X, there you are. At one point, we thought maybe we heard a baby cry, which a lot of us heard it, but I think it may have been that event going on over there, and somebody spanked their child, all the way back to the car because they were acting up.
You mean parents actually do that these days still?
God, I hope so. If not, give it to me. I'll do it for you.
Yep, exactly.
That's my kids.
Wow.
My 21-year-old, I'll still pop him.
No. Yeah, but the difference is with you, Eileen, you grab everybody's asses. You don't spank them.
Oh, my 23-year-old, when I stand up, is gone. He's bigger than I am, looks like Bigfoot.
Funny.
Oh, jeez.
So Jeremy, your experiment with the fog and the laser lights, how did it work out for you? And the dog whistles. I mean, what were your results?
Well, the first night that we did the dog whistle, it seemed like we were chasing something around in the basement in circles.
You want to tell my people a little bit what you were doing and stuff, what the purpose of the whistles were?
So the purpose of the dog whistle is to test out how it really truly affects the spirits, and if it'll actually drive them away from places. Because every time I've used it, it's always been one of two things. Either they flee the area or they get real aggressive with you. More times they flee the area. After you blow the whistle, everything is dead.
Now, originally you were testing to see if it would draw them in. Is that correct?
No, I wanted to see if it would draw them from one place to another. I wanted to try to chase it into that big room that's got the two the dumb waiters.
Yeah, the kitchen.
Is that what? Okay, yeah. But instead, it seemed like we were chasing something in circles with that adjacent hallway out there.
Oh, what the hell?
So, and all we were doing was just using the whistle there in that first hallway. So the next night, I decided, okay, I'm going to put half of the equipment that we had here in this hallway, half of the equipment that we had in the other hallway, and then split the people up and putting people in all four corners and see if we can get something moving. I don't think we got anything moving, but I will say this: as soon as we turned on the lights, you could see shit. That hallway was
pitch black down there.
No, I'm talking about after we turned.
I'll never forget how. Oh yeah, because I was going to say, man, that hallway was just so black.
Yeah, pitch black. There's no.
You definitely could not see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, but I'm talking about after we were done, Nick, and turned on the lights, you still couldn't see anything because of how much fog was in there.
Yeah. It was hanging.
I think I made a joke. I think I made a joke about something like that, saying, geez, I hope that's still smoke, because if not, and if Jeremy set up some kind of fire or something, we're in trouble here.
You know, it's funny.
You compared it to the Chicago fires.
What's funny is you guys had already left the building. I had to go down there to turn off a light that was left on. And I mean, you did that experiment towards the end. It was one of the last things that you did, but it's still, by the time you picked up all your cameras and whatnot, another hour and a half had to elapsed.
Yeah.
when I went down there, there was still fog lingering in that hallway.
And that was just a very small percentage of what I had in there.
Wow.
That was a very
Okay.
according to the
Correct.
instructions, I would have had to use it for 90 minutes straight
Yeah.
to use
Yeah.
it all. And I only use it 15 minutes or something like that.
Sir X has a picture of Abigail's room.
Oh,
With her shadow.
Can you send it to one of us?
send it to Jeremy.
Yeah,
Or, yeah, anybody you have. Never mind, they can share. I
I think I've got him.
can't share it.
It better. I was gonna say if this was Chris, I would have said this better not have a jump scare on this too with it.
Okay, you put the link up. Can you share that link?
photo. Yeah, Chris, send it to me and I'll get it up on the screen.
And also, if you got the one of Jeremy, or I'm sorry, Nick crapping his pants 3 or 4 times, you can send that too.
Definitely. Definitely.
And all those
I'm
times
so
go dry
glad
as
that-
pants. Yeah.
I am just so glad that never happened. I may have gotten scared, but I did not. I'm so glad that didn't happen.
That's what that smell
I-
was.
We
can't-
were probably
Oh
one
my
away.
god! You know what? I can't believe.
Next year,
I can't
Nick.
believe I would have.
Next
I
year.
can't believe. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I probably would have been in a worse situation than Donald with you, Eileen.
Jill, when are you getting back on Facebook?
Everyone's asking about you. I texted her a few days ago. Speaking of which,
And
so yeah, I know
you're
a lot of people. A lot of us have been asking.
You're gonna have to get on my new page because remember I've got another page. My old page was hacked.
I know Jill just disappeared.
Did you get it,
and
Jeremy?
left us, but I had to rely on everybody else.
There it is.
Okay. Oh hell.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you can see the little pioneer
Wow.
bonnet, her pioneer dress. What you can't see is her feet are actually 3 or 4 tiles up from the wall there.
Yeah, it is.
And she's holding his
Holy
elbow.
crap.
You can tell by the light coming in through the windows. It was about 10:30 in the morning. Those windows face to the east, and the sunlight coming across at that angle. There's no way that shadow, if somebody was even standing there, there's no way that shadow could have been cast against that wall.
Well, I'm
And
about to
then
say
if you
you
look at
see
the-
his shadow to his side.
There you go.
Yeah, and it looks nothing like what he's doing.
No,
not at
And you
all.
can see her feet right there, whoever's drawing it out.
And
Yeah.
that's
Poor
clearly
baby.
not like obviously. It's clearly obviously not like the shadow of like a mannequin or anything like that, because in order to have that kind of picture, you would have to have the mannequin, like you would have to be standing right next to it. And it's obvious
Well,
that
I mean,
there's no mannequin.
look
or
at
anything
his shadow.
So
Look at this
His
part right
shadow
here.
is next to him.
yeah,
The light is
Yeah.
coming in to the left.
Yeah, it's coming in this one.
right.
There's no way.
And it's not like the wall is stained or
No
anything
way.
like that.
No,
This
it's
was-
not.
This was 5 years ago. That room's actually in worse shape now than it was then. There's more tile pulled up off the floor and everything else. But in all the years we've been posting this picture, there's been no one been able to debunk that as anything else.
Look at this right here. The head is more transparent than the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So it's like it's coming from the
Um,
bottom up, like she's manifesting from the bottom up. Saturday,
Right.
I saw it.
Now,
young
Sir X
adult
said that
version
he
of
said he
that
saw a
in a
young
different
adult
room.
version of that
Oh,
in a different room and also in the middle of the room.
I hope she's growing up there.
You can see the fingers down here, and it looks like it's actually reaching out.
Yeah, she was
Touching his
grabbing.
elbow.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, pay attention to me. I got you."
So that memory, that favorite memory was her sitting down beside me and comforting me.
Yeah. She's very, very empathetic.
Yes.
Which room is
She's not going to appear to somebody who's not.
That's where we have the chair and the Raggedy Ann doll and all that stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
That's Abigail's room on the 4th floor.
Jeremy, can you show that picture again, please?
yeah.
So we can see what it looks like now.
Yeah, Joe actually would like a copy of it if it's possible. The hell are you doing, Eileen?
Jill is another one of our psychic mediums.
Okay.
Jill's
She's
just one of
also
our
another-
family members.
She's also a
She
show.
is our family, but
she is.
she stands out in our family.
Well, she is actually part of it too because she co-hosts with one of the other shows I do on this network, Fear Fans.
Is she still doing that?
No, she's not doing that either. Like I said, now that since she's kind of taking a break,
disappeared, like
she's also
gone.
taking. I know. We know. Don is Lord too.
There it is. Okay.
So you can see in that back corner that there's no shadow there or anything else.
No. And you can also tell that there has not been any work done to this room because look at the tile here.
No.
And then look at this. Okay?
That's still there.
Yeah, the cracking in the wall. Now, Misty here says she makes a good point. Another possibility, spirits will sometimes manifest at their most memorable time in their lifetime. Maybe she was a young adult when she passed and appears as a child because that's the time she loved the most. And I have heard of such cases that you may have a person who may live a full life, may live till they die of old age, but they come back as a kid because obviously in the spirit world, I guess you can kind of see the law. I mean, it's obvious. The laws of physics, including aging, does not matter. You could basically appear at any age you want at will. So by then, you have control of how you want to appear. So in that
that's
case,
something. That's
she
exactly
probably
right.
she probably did. Yeah. So as a result, yes, she probably died as an adult, but. You know, if it was a particular age that she enjoyed her life, she's probably going to revert back to that age because that was her favorite time.
Absolutely, and I think Jill will agree with me on this, and you know, anybody else who might be in tune. That's another thing that you don't have to speak out loud. We speak out loud simply because we do it for evidence for the camera. We do it if we get an EVP. We do it if, things like that. But you don't have to. You can go in and a spirit is going to know, number one, what you're thinking, what your intentions are, what you are inside. It doesn't matter how long you're there. They know.
And you don't have to die of a horrible death to have to be in a place. I think they go to a favorite memory, to a sick sanctuary, somewhere where they're comfortable. And that might have been a fond memory.
Well, it's also, if you look
I was doing this, guys, because I'm turning into the Incredible Hulk. As it gets darker and darker, I'm getting greener and greener.
Yes.
Well, if you kind of think of it this way too. Well, if you kind of look at it this way,
I need you to play that, Sir X. I need you to play that.
I've got the darn song in my head.
We've got to see this the whole time. I need you to do that. There we go. All right, Chris, you gotta do it.
Wait a minute.
We went, yeah. Husbands on Twitch, randomly, mind you, randomly.
So
I
they
had
were
to
talking
mute
about
the
it.
damn thing. I mean, for my side.
They were talking about it in our group chat, and that's what he said earlier. I was just, I had the song in my head.
That's why I was really hoping Craig would come on. I knew he had that.
Hey, the old man still
This is
got it.
not Jill's favorite episode. Good job. You did it, Dennis. You made this her favorite episode.
And she's with us a lot.
Yes, she is.
You still got it damn straight. Yes. But wait a minute, that did prove something that we really had to prove from our visit there. He is wearing pants.
I guess, yeah, the secret's out now. Secret's out. Because most of the time I don't. I just sit here and nobody knows.
And he was wearing pants.
Wait, what? The crazy
I figure that way, if I get bored, I got something to play with.
Okay, who is that? And who the hell are you talking about?
That's got to be Brad.
Yeah, who is this Facebook user?
It's got to be Brad.
Brad, if you're talking about me, buddy, you're going to wish you never did.
Oh, no, that is.
Oh, so that's for Eileen.
No, that's for you, Adrian.
No, ma'am. Todd wouldn't call
hey,
me
Debbie.
that. That's you.
Hi, Debbie. Okay,
Eileen, make her dance.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
Next week, Debbie is going to be our guest, and she is also going to be starting her new show with us either next week or the week after that.
Hey, Debbie,
right.
how are you?
That's right.
Eileen, let's get you what song you want, little lady.
Jill,
by
that
the way,
was not
Todd,
Brad. That was someone
Bite
else.
me. Bite me and learn how to
Hey,
spell my
there's a
name.
song called That. Play it, Jeremy.
Hey. Learn how to spell your name. You pronounce Illinois wrong, and even at the start of it starts the same letters.
Look, I don't know who Eileen is.
Well, I do, so let's get to it.
Well, I can tell you right now, whoever this Facebook user is,
That's Todd.
Eileen, apparently. I can tell you one fact about her. Oh, it's not. I was going to say she's 24.
Times 2.
I thought it was Brad because crazy lady, so I thought it was Brad.
It's the Todd. The Todd.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we
Yep,
cannot.
Jill, they're saying it's your turn now, Eileen. It's your turn.
Sir, actually, when you do
There you
your
go. There.
little dance, I want to see it. Tag me.
I say we bring the Todd on and make him do it.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. He's the Todd. You can't stop him for that.
I don't know. I've heard some funny stories about
Jill.
Jill, sweetheart.
Hold
are
on,
we
before we
times
go-
2?
I gotta find a picture for you to share, Jeremy, just for that. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Is that Todd farting
thought I was
in
the one
an
who was supposed to share funny
investigation, or what's
pictures.
going on there? Oh, whatever. You're how old? Come on.
I wonder.
If you're using AF, you are not that old.
He just learned.
Okay, so boy, what are you talking about, that old boy?
It's older than the rest of us.
Don't make me come up there when you're there.
50?
I'm fixing to hit 50. Don't you make me come up there.
Hold on, I gotta find this.
Okay, so evidently we're going to be waiting a little bit for Eileen to find a picture.
She's old. She has to get her thoughts together and then
She's in the
rearrange
mall.
them, figure out where the ducks
Yeah.
went.
I have proof that the Todd loves me.
Anybody
All right,
can
let's
say
see what
words.
these pictures are. What does he mean?
Anybody
that
can say words?
He's in
Let's do
Lamar.
it, Misty. Lamar, Kansas? That's not a problem. My daughter lives there.
Lamar, Colorado.
It
Oh,
looks like
game
okay,
on, let's
I gotta
go.
say this right now.
I'm not
It
far.
looks
Let's
like
go
and
investigate.
Adrian Lamar, Colorado.
Let's go
Lamar,
investigate.
Colorado.
I'm not far. I'm in Greeley.
Well, you guys show the other one. It proves he loves me.
That's what I'm.
What
trying
that
to do.
proves is you know how to pick on him.
No, hold on.
Oh,
Okay,
how
Todd,
cute.
Todd. I do have. We can talk to a professional, okay? We got this. You can be cured. It's okay.
I
And
see.
anyone who
back when
doesn't
you were-
know,
This was back
yes,
when you were
Leanne was
blind.
right there.
Oh yeah, Leah.
Wait. Hang on. I think I just realized something. I think he only truly loves you because you were a blonde at that time.
Do y'all want me a blonde next week? I can be a blonde next week.
They didn't see
Who
the
wants you
gun
to
off
delete
screen.
what? Misty, who's wanting
What?
you to delete it? What?
Is it
Go
Facebook?
up and see what Facebook.
Let's beat him? Is that what they're having an issue with?
Oh, isn't that what?
Probably.
Wait, Jill, let's say
Our
something like
shows
that.
are always
Yeah, I
flagged.
think it was like
Don't worry
Jill.
about it.
Yep. It is. Yep, it's just
We'll
like
take
what
care
happened
of
to
it.
Jill a few
Don't
months
worry about
back.
We'll take care of it.
Misty,
Yeah, if you say something like that, you're gonna say
that way.
it's stupid.
there's
I've got their policy. Never mind.
We got you, Misty.
We fight Facebook constantly. They can kiss my ass.
They tried, like make. You know what? They actually recently tried make me make some changes on that video montage that I made of that weather photography video I made. Facebook was asking me to change some things, including the music, obviously, but I was able to fight back, and I was saying, I'm just using this for entertainment purposes only. Damn it! Yep. See, Jill can add to this.
Yeah,
Look,
no worries.
I had
Don't
to
worry.
create a
Don't worry,
second
Missy.
page just because I stayed in Facebook jail. And then, of course,
You're
I got
correct.
hacked.
You're
We
always
need to
in
go investigate.
Facebook jail. You're always in Facebook jail.
I read what I write
Eileen, I hate to
first.
say it, but Eileen, I hate to tell you, but there's no parole for your first Facebook page. So I don't know if you're going back to that
No
one.
problem. Me too. I tell me why half these shows are not taken off the air. I have no
Right.
filter. I really don't. Yeah. Anywhere you want to. I'm looking at the ghost towns around here, the mining towns. There's also a motel here in Greeley that it was shut down in 2000. I want to say 7. Anyway, 19. It was 2019. It was a sex ring, and it was the cartel. Which watch, we'll get this banned for that word. But it was a cartel, and they had a sex ring going on in this motel here locally in Greeley. When we went in it, I did not get to go in it. My friend did. But we do have access to it. There was still children's underwear. There was the reason they caught them was because they were doing abortions and throwing them in the trash can behind the motel. And yeah, it was a bad deal, but the energy, absolutely unreal.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to get off. It is extremely hot down here, so and then we're on for 2 hours. So
we do need to shut it down. You're right.
Eileen, if I may ask, what's
take
the
one for the
temperature down there
team
right now?
do what?
Take one for the team. Come
What's
on.
the temperature, right?
Well, it's not. Now,
No, I
keep
was
in
asking,
mind,
what's the temperature down?
there's no heating and air no air where I'm at right now circulating. So it's at what time is it? It's 9 o'clock and it's it feels like 91 degrees outside.
It's 76 in Colorado.
Less than that here.
Over here in Jeremy knows this, I'm sure. We've been under an excessive heat wave. So earlier today, it was well over 100 degrees.
We were at 100.
That's an excessive heat wave. What the hell?
See, I saw Misty post
In the Midwest, it is. I had to jump in my pool to cool off, as a result.
You don't even get in the pools here, baby. The pools are too hot.
Oh my God. Dude.
So Misty posted something on we've got an investigation again this weekend, and she's telling everybody bring a light jacket because it's going to be 59.
Okay, that's cold.
It was over 114 today.
It got up to
It
about
was 97 here.
Where are you at, Eileen?
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay.
And see,
That's
you
right.
said it right. You didn't say all the S's. It's Mississippi.
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 And you know what? For
Okay,
someone who always says my state wrong. Here's the funniest thing. And I don't know if you even know about this, Eileen, but when you look at history of when the states were founded. So believe it or not, Mississippi actually came first before us. They were the 20th state, if I'm correct. And then Illinois came right after that, a year after Mississippi's founding. And your state, Eileen, was 1817. We were the following.
But you're supposed to say Mississippi. That's the name. It's Mississippi. But because we're Southern and we skip half our letters, it's Mississippi.
And it's also bless your pea-picking little heart.
I actually wonder.
What you
I actually wonder now because
not supper, but dinner.
Well, I actually wonder too, because I brought up Southern Illinois a lot, and the accent is different down there. I wonder how they pronounce, Mississippi. That's what I wonder.
They probably say Illinois. That's where I get it.
That's what they say.
That's a silent.
They call it hell no.
Right.
I was there filming. Hell no. It was cold in November. Hell no. The plane had to do ice.
Jill.
Hell
Give
no.
me a break.
See, it stays so hot here that when we do get ice, you can't thaw it because we don't have enough salt. We don't have enough salt trucks.
There you go. All right, so sir,
call Scott to clean the roads. He can do all the salting for you.
There you go.
Hey, there you go. I get to see him that way. Hell yeah.
No.
Well, Misty said, tell everybody good night because she can't comment anymore.
Oh, Misty, baby, I'm so sorry. Facebook sucks.
They did that to me before.
Yeah, we'll get back to Facebook.
Get
You're
with
making
me.
me proud,
We'll go
Misty.
investigate.
You.
We'll go find some shit.
You can always, anytime you want to do it while you're in Facebook jail, just go to YouTube.
The last name
Or
gets
Twitch
passed
if you have.
Yep, that's
Or
exactly right.
YouTube's not good at the moment either. Because somebody said the word COVID on the show earlier this week.
Wait.
Now I can't put anything on YouTube for a week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know what?
That's right. Yeah.
That shit just pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Look, I think we're supposed to go into another.
This is United States. Say
that
what you
video
want.
is on another channel and it is still up there.
Chris,
Well,
I don't know what
that's
you
okay.
said. She says she's going to beat your ass personally.
Who?
Misty said, tell Chris I'm going to beat his ass personally.
Oh,
Well, I don't
okay.
know what he said, but
Yeah, so I'm about to beat YouTube's ass.
All right, guys.
Look,
Dennis,
that's like
thank
you're
you
gonna have to
so
make a
much
full
for
list.
coming on tonight.
you bet. You bet. We'll have to do it again on my
Yeah, this
channel.
was fun.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
anytime.
Oh,
And if any of you people want to find me,
guys,
I'm
I
on
just wanted to.
Yeah, hold on. Let him tell where he was going.
And guys, I just want-
say, Nick.
Put those links up there.
You mean I got to type? I don't know how.
Yeah, put the
Not
links
you.
up.
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. It really, if you just Google "What's Up, Gramps," you're going to find me on Facebook. You find my my YouTubes, my Instagrams. But basically, I stream 3 or 4 times a week on Twitch, and that's twitch.com/whatsupgramps. So
You guys.
There we go. Thank you. Awesome.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, find me there. Make sure you follow me.
Absolutely.
Guys, I just wanted to make one quick announcement. I know I said it in the chat, but I just wanted to let everybody know about this in case anyone wants to check this out. And it's really exciting news that I'm going to be on a special show this upcoming Sunday. It's actually Sunday afternoon. I just realized from the time difference. My first ever appearance of a show in Bangladesh. And I actually have the banner right here. It's just simply called the Horror Fiction Live Podcast with Walker. It's 11 p.m., but that's for their time out in Bangladesh. I think it'll be about 12 my time, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So seriously cannot wait. So definitely spread the word because he's actually been wanting. Yeah, he's actually been wanting me to spread the word about this.
Nick, shoot that banner over to me on Facebook there, and I'll post it on my sites too.
And contact that dude.
We're gonna be like literally. What's that?
Voice chat that dude and let him know how to say your name.
You know what? Did you watch the video? Did you watch that?
I did.
I know, right? I saw that, and see, here's the thing: we have voice chatted previously, but I didn't think he was going to say it that way. I thought he kind of already knew, but I'm like, oh damn! I should have told him how to pronounce my last name.
Well, I mean, he does have an accent, and he does pronounce English words a little different. I understand, but that last name, no.
Yeah. You guys, wait, did you watch it, Eileen? Jeremy,
What?
did you see it?
I've been on the road most.
About the show. Okay, so what? I'm just going to say
Disclaimer, y'all need to watch this. I'm not being mean. He really butchered that. No.
Yeah, but either way, spoiler alert, instead of calling me Muley, he called me Nick Milati.
We're going to have Milati on. Yeah.
No.
But no, overall,
I had to go down to Indy today, so I hadn't had a chance to really do anything.
Yeah, go back through the chat.
Aside from that, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, we're going to be like exchanging like different paranormal stories and legends from our respective countries. So he told me a lot of people in Bangladesh are going to be watching, but of course I told him I wanted to spread it, not just of course here for the United States, but for other countries as well. So we might have quite a big audience.
While you're there, while you're talking to him, bring something up for me. This is something I've had everybody do. When somebody passes, do they speak to you in the language they knew or the language you can understand?
Good question. Make sure to send that. You know, you may want to send a message to me prior before I do this show, just as a reminder.
Okay.
But I'm really excited for it. I mean, it's not only the first ever show that I've ever been on. It's not only the first ever show on that I've ever been on from Bangladesh. It's the first real show from Asia overall. So it's quite an honor. So and who knows?
I didn't realize Bangladesh. Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize Bangladesh was into the paranormal as much as they are.
Denise, we're just
it's funny. I've we're just about to end this, but no. What's funny? I mean, I have made a few connections in Bangladesh previously, but this is the first one I've ever came across where they really want to talk about it, and more importantly, actually have a podcast. And they're going to use the same platform like we're using now. They're going to be using StreamYard in this matter.
Yeah, that's great, because anytime I get a Bangladesh connection, it's, hey, you want to get married?
I can't take care of you.
Or if you want to
got a hotel from work, apparently.
Get some rest,
Denise is definitely in Denise, I was just in Indy today for my eye appointment.
Show why you're about what? Sir X, excuse me, what?
Wait, what? The hell is this?
He's talking about what the kind of messages that you get from people over there in that area.
Oh, sure.
Show why you're about. Okay, yeah, okay.
You know, like,
I was a little worried about you there for a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Funny story.
Anyway,
oh,
next week
okay.
we have Debbie Romero as our guest, who is going to be our newest show host. So we're pretty excited about that.
absolutely.
And the week after that, we're going to have Greg Parkin on the show. And no, we will not have a 6-hour show.
It'll be a while to see him. Just be glad right now that Brad's not watching right now, because you know what he would have said if he finds out that Greg's going to be on.
Yeah.
Eileen, you can really go.
Do what?
You don't have to stay. I was
6.5. No, wait.
You don't look like you're really happy.
No, I'm just like sweating.
Jeremy, it was
bullets
actually-
right now.
Yeah.
She wants to go to bed, so we need
Jeremy,
to-
it was actually 6.5. Jeremy, it was actually 6.5. Now that I remember.
Well, we're not doing that
6.5
tonight.
hours.
So, guys,
Yep, no, we're not.
at 2 hours.
let's say
When
good
we're not
night.
entertaining enough, do we need another dance? Throw on
No.
the Mexican hat music.
We are not doing another 6.5-hour show.
I don't want another copyright strike.
No way.
Not another 6.5-hour show.
Dennis, thank you for being on the show.
No way.
It's been
Yeah,
a
you
while.
betcha.
And everybody
Been fun.
in the audience, thank you for playing along.
We'll definitely have you back on, of course.
Yes.
Cool.
In fact, maybe I would actually like to get you back on closer to Halloween and see if we can get you to give us a tour of the haunted house.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I could do that during the week.
That new dance that you were
Thursday nights
that
would be
new
more.
dance
Yeah.
that you were just that new dance that you were showing would probably be a better addition too.
Oh, the Mexican
That's
hat.
what I was saying. We don't want the copyright strikes. For
We're
this.
gonna put a box of Depends on Nick's Amazon wish list.
Yes, we do.
Yes, because he'll need them.
And of course, Eileen and I will already be wearing them. We're already at that age.
Good,
Don't you
good.
dare.
Yeah. Nothing to be ashamed of there, Nick.
Times two.
So with that, everybody, thank you so much again. Thank you, Dennis, and we will see you all next week.
Have a
Good night, y'all.
Night, night.
We love you.
Good night.